And we start with 3 questions and 3 answers. Venerable Mazi Sayadaw, is it realization of impermanence when we see, for example, a pot breaks? Is it realization of suffering when we have pain caused by a thorn in our flesh? You may think that you can discern impermanence when you see a pot breaks. You may think that you can discern suffering when you have pain caused by a thorn in your flesh. That is actually conventional knowledge of impermanence, which cannot help you to realize egolessness in an ultimate sense. On the other hand, the actual realization of the universal characteristic of impermanence takes place when you see present phenomena arising and passing away. The actual realization of the universal characteristic of suffering when you perceive the oppression of phenomena by this incessant flood of arising and dissolution. This is from the book named The Discourse on the Eightfold Noble Path by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 2 question. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, can you describe how we are supposed to realize egolessness in an ultimate sense? Some believe that the realization of egolessness takes place when you lost your sense of body shape or form, or by visualizing the physical body as particles. Actually, it is not the realization of egolessness, but merely losing the sense of solidity or form of the body. It is because you are clearly experiencing the knowing mind and identifying it with I or ego. This is similar to the celestial beings called Arupa Brahma, who have no physical body, but still mistake their mind for I or ego. So the mere loose of sense of solid form does not mean realization of egolessness. Only when you observe mind and body, the moment they take place, and see them arising and passing away on their own accord, without anyone's authority. Do you realize egolessness in the ultimate sense? This is from the book named The Discourse on Sila Wanda Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 3 question. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, what do we have to do to realize impermanence of mind and body? If you watch mind and body moment to moment, you are bound to experience true characteristics of phenomena, and to see them starting to arise and vanishing immediately. This is from the book named The Discourse on the Eightfold Noble Path by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. And we continue last night Dhamma talk. Now I need to talk about the air element, which is 6 kinds, as follows. Number 1, upgoing air that manifests itself in vomiting, belching, in hiccuping, and so on. Number 2, downgoing air that plays the main role in farting, urinating, defecating, and so on. Number 3, stomach air that represents tension, tightness, motion in the stomach. Number 4, intestine air, that is working in intestines. Number 5, functional air, that plays the main role in all bodily functions, like bending and stretching one's limbs, opening and closing one's eyes or mouth, moving one's tongue, bending one's body forward or sideward, and so on. Number 6, breath air, that obviously refers to inhalation and exhalation. The observation of the rising and falling of the abdomen is not literally considered the observation of in and out breath. Undeniably, however, the abdominal movement is directly related to the breath. It is just the subsequent process of the breath itself. You can for sure observe it, but you may regard the observation of abdominal movements as the observation of the stomach air, the third kind of air. During Vipassana practice, there arises awareness of the earth element. When, for example, you touch something or happen to hit something with your hand and are aware of roughness or hardness. With strong concentration, you will be aware of touching in terms of hardness or roughness, although the conceptual forms of objects are most likely to remain with you in the beginning. Some teachers instruct a yogi to observe the earth element only in terms of its characteristic, without letting any conceptual form manifest. That is just theory. Practically, it is impossible to be aware of the earth element alone without the conceptual form or shape. Of course, you will be aware of ultimate phenomena in terms of their individual characteristics without their conceptual forms. When your insight knowledge matures, especially when you reach fifth stage of insight knowledge, the insight into vanishing Bhanga Jnana. When the insight knowledge becomes sharp and effortlessly progressing, and phenomena are spontaneously manifesting, then mindfulness does not focus on arising or lasting continuous process or conceptual form, but only on vanishing, fading away, or cessation. When the insight knowledge becomes very sharp and effortlessly progressing, the psychophysical phenomena manifest themselves rapidly, meaning you are aware of psychophysical phenomena one after another, rapidly and constantly. At the earlier stages, you have to work hard to observe what you should observe. Even though you are instructed to observe only two simple things, the rising and falling of the abdomen, you cannot properly focus on them since your mind often goes astray. So it is impossible for a beginner yogi to observe only ultimate phenomena. However, when the insight knowledge matures, the objects manifested themselves naturally and rapidly. I mean, you become aware of one object after another rapidly and effortlessly. At this stage of insight knowledge, mindfulness does not focus on arising. At the earlier stage of the fourth insight knowledge, the insight into arising and vanishing Udyabhaya Jnana. You see phenomena newly arising, but now you no longer see the arising. Not focus on the continuous process of the psycho-physical phenomena. At the earlier stages, the phenomena manifest themselves as unbroken processes. Now they don't. Not focus on the conceptual form of phenomena. In the beginning of the practice, the forms or shapes of hands, feet, abdomen, etc. are obvious. For example, when you note the abdominal movement, you see the abdomen rising and falling in a solid form. When you note bending your hand or stretching it out, you can see the hand moving in a solid form. So too when you note bending your head and so on. Its mindfulness only focuses on vanishing, fading away, or cessation. Here, vanishing, fading away, and cessation are synonyms. They all mean the same in terms of being no longer present. The mindfulness just focuses on that. When you note the abdominal rising, for example, you can find the phenomena, tension, motion, etc. are vanishing moment by moment, but no longer the form or shape of the abdomen. In the same way, when you note bending your hand and stretching it out, you can see its movement or motion segment by segment, moment by moment. Every segment disappears on each spot they occur. You can no longer find your hand in a solid form. That is why the yogis at the stage of insight into vanishing Bhangajnana are likely to report that they find nothing but vanishing and they may feel unhappy because they think they are not aware distinctively of objects because they find no object in solid form at this stage. Every time you note touching, you can be aware of the earth element in terms of hardness or softness. In the same way, when you press down your foot on the ground, you can be aware of the earth element in terms of solidness of the ground as well as of the foot. And you can be aware of the water element in terms of flowing, being wet, and adhesive when you note. For example, tears flowing down from your eyes, mucus from your nose, saliva from your mouth, and so on. You can also find it as cohesiveness. And when you drop down your foot toward the ground, you can be aware of the water element in terms of heaviness. So too will you be when putting your hand down, sitting your body down, and so on. In the heaviness, the sub-commentary says the water element plays the leading role in the earth element, the supporting role. When lifting your foot, it feels light. In this case, the fire element plays a main role. The air element a supporting role. The fire element in the form of gas, vapor, or smoke always feels light and goes up. So the fire element manifests itself as lightness when you rise up from the seat. And this element also represents hotness, warmth, or coldness. As for the air element, it manifests itself in such bodily actions as pushing your limbs from one spot to another, like moving your foot forward, bending your hand inward, or stretching it outward, and so on. We can experience any one of 42 parts of the body when sitting, standing, walking, or lying down. These include 20 parts that are dominated by earth element, 12 dominated by water element. 4 dominated by the fire element. And 6 dominated by the air element. The 20 parts that are dominated by earth element are head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestines, small intestines, contents of the stomach, feces, and brain. The 12 dominated by water element are bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joints in urine. The 4 dominated by fire element are that by which one is warmed, ages, and is consumed, in that by which what is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted gets completely digested. The 6 dominated by air element are up-going winds, down-going winds, winds in the belly, winds in the bowels, winds that course through the limbs, in the in-breath and out-breath. Each time a person touches one of these parts of the body, he or she knows it as touching, and so correctly understands that the earth element is experienced via the characteristics of hardness, softness, or smoothness. The fire element is experienced via the characteristics of heat, warm, or cold. The air element is experienced via the characteristics of firmness, stiffness, or looseness. And the air element is experienced via the function of movement, pushing or pulling, and the manifestation of conveying. In reality, we cannot directly experience the water element with the sense of touch, but given the power of this element, we can know its true nature with mind consciousness based on bodily sensations of the earth, fire, and air elements that arise in conjunction with the water element. Thus, the water element is understood by noting touch. The water element is experienced via the characteristics of flowing or melting. This type of sensation is especially noticeable when sweat, mucus, or tears flow, when spitting or swallowing, phlegm or saliva, or when urinating. The function of the water element is experienced via expansion or dampening. We feel it mainly when we take a bath, have a drink, and so on. The manifestation of the water element is experienced via cohesion or holding together. Thus, every time we note a bodily sensation, we will be aware of the four primary material elements. We will understand that there is no person, no being, no woman, no man, no I, or no mind, but only a collection of physical elements such as hardness, softness, heat, warmth, cold, tightness, looseness, movement, pulling, pushing, flowing, melting, wetness, expansion, and cohesion. This understanding is in accordance with the following clinical passage. A yogi reviews this same body, however it is placed, however disposed, by way of elements. Thus, in this body, there are the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the air element. Note that awareness of the rise and fall of the abdomen is naturally in accord with this Pali code. Mindfulness of walking, bending, or other movements is also covered under this awareness of touch. However, the intention to walk, the intention to bend, and so on are awareness of mind. We can experience touch throughout the whole body. The feet touch one another. The hands touch one another. The hands touch the feet. The hands, feet, and hair touch the body. And the tongue touches the teeth and the blade. Mucus, saliva, food, and water touch the throat and the blade. Many organs and substances inside the body touch one another, such as food and internal air that touch the intestines, blood, internal air, flesh, sinews, and bones touch each other. We are also always coming into physical contact with external things, such as our clothes, shoes, bed, pillow, blanket, floor or ground, the wall, our umbrella or walking stick, stones and plants, the wind, sunlight and water, tools and furniture, and so on. Animals, insects, such as mosquitoes and horseflies, touch us too. Aside from specific sensations, all touch must be noted as touching every time one notices it. If the touching sensation is distinct as a pleasant or unpleasant feeling, then we should note it as it is. If it feels hot, note it as hot, hot. If cold, note it as cold, cold. If warm, note it as warm, warm. If chilly, note it as chilly, chilly. If lying down, note it as lying, lying. If tired, note it as tired, tired. If painful, note it as pain, pain. If numb, note it as numb, numb. If aching, note it as aching, aching. If itchy, note it as itching, itching. If stiff, note it as stiff, stiff. If dizzy, note it as dizzy, dizzy. If pleasant, note it as pleasant, pleasant. In this way, we should note touch from moment to moment. Note the nature of these sensations of touch clearly, precisely, and accurately, using everyday language in words that indicate ultimate realities. The time is up, enough for today.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.